You got a friend in me. Supper's on the stove. You got a friend in me. Ship will never die. You're gonna see it's our destiny. You got a friend in me. 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 Supper's on the stove.
I don't care, go on and tear me apart. I don't care if you do. Cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you.
Go ahead and move to their seats. Okay, if Grace and Chelsea and Nicole, if we can go ahead and dim the lights, we're going to go ahead and kick off our program.
This one goes out to the heroes! This one goes out to the heroes! Everyday heroes! Yeah, I'm talking to you. I think you're a hero and you don't even know it yet. Maybe you're like me. You look in the mirror and you don't really see a hero. You look and you just see a regular kid. A really good-looking regular kid. But you're a hero. Whether you're a kid or a grown-up. You're way more than you might think you are. You're more than your problems and you're more than your mistakes. Somewhere inside, you're a hero. You might not have a cape or wear underwear outside your clothes. That's probably a good thing. You have everything right now to change the world. Everything! Heroes are just ordinary people who've done extraordinary things. They inspire other people to be extraordinary. Heroes are made when ordinary people like you and me decide to be extraordinary. Or extra ordinary. Extra ordinary. That's too many extras. Here's what I'm trying to say. If you want to be awesome, treat people awesome. It's about strength. Firepower. Not like picking up a car kind of strength. I'm talking about compassion. Nothing stronger than that. It's what changes things. So who's been a hero to you? Let them know. Heroes don't always know that you're heroes. We all need reminders. The little things that we do are a big deal. Heroes are people in our lives who see us what we really are. Awesome. Did you hear that? I said it. You're awesome! You're awesome. You don't need a cape and you don't need money. Look a little closer at the world around you. You're ready right now. It's time to be the hero that you're meant to be. Cape, what are you not okay with? Think about it. Now what do you have? And who can you bring with you? Everybody! 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 You have everything make someone's day more awesome. Someone may never told you this, but I promise it's true. The world needs heroes, and that hero could be you. That hero could be you. And that hero could be you. Yeah. Let's do this.
And our theme, obviously, is Everyday Heroes, all of us in the room, so thank you. Just a few reminders how we start any event that are in these buildings. We ask that electronic devices be turned off or silenced. Just a reminder that it's a non-smoking facility. Restrooms, I think you all know, are out the doors and towards Sherlin's area, and then the exit doors are right behind us. So just a few reminders. On behalf of Stan Mantooth and the Human Resources Department for coordinating this, thank you for being here. A lot of people worked really hard to make this happen, from payroll to purchasing, graphics, facilities, our planning committee, Amy Cranston, Erica Singletary, Josh Valdivia, Cindy Escarino, Don Anderson, and Aurelia. So thank you all. Thank you everybody who's helped with this. Another thing that we are always sure to include in our events is that we do the Pledge of Allegiance, and today we are so fortunate to have a CEC student with us, and I'd like to thank Tacha Robles and Giselle Weiss for coordinating that with us. We're lucky to have Kara Harney. She's a dental assistant student from CEC. Following Kara, we'll ask that you remain standing because we will also have April Terry from Technology Service leading us in the national anthem.
Everyone please rise. Face the flag. Right hand over heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, in liberty and justice for all. And please stay standing as April Terry joins us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets would glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Definitely talent in this room. Thank you, Kara and April. With that, I will go ahead and introduce the man who needs no introduction. I will welcome our Superintendent, Stan Mantooth.
Woo! Good afternoon, and happy Friday. I suspect I speak for everyone in this room when I say that I never get tired of what Kara and April just did. And I want us to thank them again for leading us through the pledge and the anthem. I'm going to send a letter back to that gentleman in Washington, D.C. with instructions that he recite the pledge every morning before he begins his workday. You know, I talk about this being my favorite day of the week, but it's also one of my favorite days of the year because it is the one time when our whole family is together in one place. And what you may not know is 10 years ago, when this building was being built, I had asked that we construct a room large enough to house all of our employees for gatherings like this. I blew it. We have people in all of our breakout rooms listening to this, and Dave Shermer assures me there's a 12-second delay. So if I mess up, we might be able to make a correction. But you'll all know about it. That's the price of success. And as I walked around before we began the program, looking at all you folks whose names I don't know, but who I value so much, it's really a pleasure to be here, and I hope you feel the same way. We're also here to acknowledge your dedication and your hard work, and I'll say a little bit more about that later. But let's have another round of applause for the folks who did the heavy lifting today and provided us with a lovely meal. And there's two other people I wanted to reference before I begin my remarks. One is Dave Luff, who works in Technology Services Department, for turning me on to a book called Powers of 10. And also a neurosurgeon by the name of James Doty, who wrote a book called Into the Magic Shop. I say that because the flavor of some of my remarks are reflective of lessons I've learned from those two gentlemen. This year's theme is Everyday Heroes. I can't think of a more fitting label for all of you as individuals and also for VCOE as a whole. Before I go further though, I'd like to show a brief video about our place in the scale of things. If you could cue that up. That's a pretty tough thing to get your arms around. A galaxy is a pretty big place. Sometimes when we try to do that, it may lead us to think of ourselves as being rather insignificant. But nothing could be further from the truth. Each and every day, we do things that enrich the lives of others, and it's this giving that we give of ourselves that makes us matter regardless of the scale of things around us. If you look through it in a different way, through a different lens, our bodies and our minds are miracles in themselves, extremely complex and rivaling anything you'll find there in outer space. Among other things, we can reason, we can feel, and we can continuously improve. But arguably, what counts most are our human interactions, which is why I want to show things from a little bit different direction with the next clip. How about that? You know, we're wired for social connection. We evolved to be cooperative. We evolved to be connected with one another. When we're not, we get sick. Research tells us that isolation puts us at greater risk of disease than smoking. But the more connected we are socially, the longer we live, and the faster we recover when we do get ill. And interacting with each other makes us feel good. It triggers that same kind of reward center in our brain that you get when you exercise, when you drink alcohol, and when you eat chocolate. In other words, we get sick alone and we get well together. Our business is people, and that business forces us and enhances both our interdependence and the strength of our hearts. Whether you work with special needs kids, at-risk populations, or just plain assisting other people with everyday issues, it's really the heart, and it's not the brain that we put to best use. The cognitive and emotional systems in the body are both intelligent, but there are far more neural connections that go from the heart to the brain than the other way around. Both our thoughts and our feelings can be powerful, but a strong emotion can silence a thought, while we can rarely think ourselves out of a strong emotion. Those of you who might had altercations with your spouses or friends know this. It's very difficult to be objective when you're in the heat of the moment, right? Ultimately, though, the brain and the heart are part of the same intelligence. And it's that intelligence that brought you here and marks you as heroes for your everyday commitment to those we serve. When I think of this collectively can be powerful, as an educational service, strong emotion can silence a thought. We are the best. While we can rarely think ourselves out of a strong emotion too. Those of you who might had altercation, you're responsible. I thank you, and I applaud you for making our world better each and every day. And now please applaud yourselves for all that you do. Let's hear it! You want to get to some recognitions? Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, is the good stuff. You know, I talked about how we've outgrown this building. Well, one of the reasons is because just in the last year, we have added 100 classified employees and 78 certificated, almost 200 new members of our family. And I would ask that anyone who is in their first year with VCOE, get up now and let's give them a hand. Stand up. And for you new folks, you realize that part of our program is to recognize some of the more senior or seasoned employees for their years of service. What I want to do right now is ask the 34 employees that have been with us for 5 years or more, their names are up on this slide, to stand and be recognized for that contribution. I like it. I like it. Well, let's go a little further. Let's go to the next level of magnitude. I'd like to ask those 39 employees with 10 years of service with this organization to stand and be recognized. All right. You getting those pics, Mr. Shermer? All right. Now, for you numerologists out there, we have 15 employees that have been with us for 15 years. I'd ask them to stand and be recognized for their service. But there's more. We have 6 individuals that have been with this organization for 20 years. And it is our practice and our honor to call these people to the stage and be recognized. And as I call your names, please come forward and accept the recognition of your peers. Lisa Bork, Executive Assistant Administration. I'll let you do it. John DeBose, Special Education Teacher at Foster. Woo! You're singing the anthem next year. Whoa, there must have been something in that lunch. Let's welcome up Leticia Escobedo, paraeducator with Boswell.
We'll make sure to get this.
Okay. She might be hiding in another room. In which case, she won't hear her name for 12 seconds. All right. Well, let's give her some more applause. Come on. Yeah. Let's also recognize our Providence Court School teacher, Meg Meganson. 20 years. And also from Providence, our resource specialist, Suzanne Reed.
Thank you so much.
You know, Suzanne also does just a little bit in helping represent the teachers in this organization, too. And last but not least, Sean Steeman, special education teacher at Phoenix. All right, let's hear it for our 20-year veterans. We'll see you in 5 years. Or somebody will. All right. We are this is the time. We're extremely pleased today to recognize 4 individuals for 25 years of service. Our first individual is Mr. Tom Etchart, our Director of Internal Business Services. Not only is Tom a personal friend, but he began his career in 1991 as a budget and accounting specialist. He was promoted throughout the years to the budget and accounting supervisor, assistant director, and in 2005 to this day has been leading our internal business department, taking care of business. Unfortunately, I'm not as happy with Tom as it might appear, because he's retiring at the end of March. But what he's going to do is to continue to make his mark as a top-flight jazz musician, for those who do not know that, here in Ventura County. Congratulations, Tom. Next, it is my pleasure to welcome Rose Evans to the stage. From CEC. I love Rose's story. She began as a clerical assistant in court and community schools. She worked as an office assistant, school secretary, and she was school secretary at Phoenix Schools for 3 years. She started as senior secretary for the Regional System of District School Support. I actually remembered what that acronym meant. And then moved into the Leadership Support Services Department. So she probably knows a lot more about VCOE than most of us. In 2005, she started as school secretary at Penfield, and a year later, returned full cycle to Gateway to work as a student services assistant. And currently, she's at our CEC as a student services assistant. Congratulations. And next up is Miss Laura Lozano. Laura also started working at Gateway in 1991, and throughout the years was promoted to clerical assistant, school secretary, and office assistant. She came to the SELPA in '97 as secretary for the department and was promoted to senior secretary, and then her most recent position of administrative assistant with the special education local plan area. Congratulations to you, Laura. Our fourth recipient could not be here today. That doesn't mean I don't want you to yell and scream when you hear her name, and that is Judy Murphy from Penfield, paraeducator. Well, you talk about unsung everyday heroes. You all know what paras do and how valuable they are. She started actually as an assistant in transportation, but moved on to be instructional aide at Nueva Vida, Newbury Park High School, and then in '93 moved to her current position at Penfield School. And let's honor Judy Murphy with a big round of applause. Okay, you're free to go. I have good news for you. We have two 30-year recipients. I don't know, they must have started, the way they look, though, they must have started here when they were 6. The good news, though, is that I'm going to move away from the podium, and I'm going to ask Don Anderson to come up and talk about our first recipient. Don?
Thank you. Today we have the great pleasure of honoring Jody Burdett for her 30 years of service to VCOE. In preparation for this moment, Jody and I had an opportunity to explore the question that Jody keeps getting asked, which is, how did you do it? Jody started her VCOE career as an attendance clerk at what was then called ROP in 1985. But after 4 years, she found her calling in the hearing conservation, which she has served there for the last 26 years. In her position as administrative assistant, Jody works with every school district in our county to coordinate hearing services for students. I want to acknowledge her strengths in customer service because in her unique position, Jody has met and assisted thousands of students and families in our county. Obviously, this is no small task, but she has always done it with grace and a smile. Jody credits her continued years of service to her coworkers, right there, and for this organization for working with her through the years as she began her family and raised her son. Her son is now a junior at CLU and on the dean's list, and Jody is a very proud mom. Jody is also a second-generation VCOE employee. Her mother worked in the downtown Ventura business office, and Jody recalls visiting there as a child. From a typewriter to a computer, Jody has seen the continual improvements and growth in our district. She did let me know that nothing surprises her anymore. I asked Jody what she likes the most about working in the hearing conservation, and her response was, she enjoys talking to the little kids to help them relax so they are not scared during their visits. I also asked Jody about her favorite memories, and her response was the special coworkers and lifelong friends that she has made over the years. Because of this answer, I was not surprised to hear the answer to my final question that I asked Jody. What type of advice would you give to a new VCOE employee, which we have many this year? And so for those new VCOE employees, please listen carefully to these very wise 30 years. Jody answered, be proud of what you do and take it seriously. And most important, VCOE has a lot of good people, so don't be afraid to get to know them. So please join me in congratulating and thanking Jody for her 30 years.
Thank you.
For those of you who know Jody, she may be a person of few words but powerful deeds. Wow. And I didn't even have to tell you to get up on your feet. All right. Next, I would like to invite Dean Chase to come up and talk about our second and last 30-year recipient this year.
Okay, well, I first met Mary in 1984 when she was substituting at Boswell where I worked. She also subbed at Rio Mesa and at a juvenile center before being hired on permanently in 1986 to work at Dwyer in Oxnard. Throughout her 30 years, she has also worked in Moore Park, at Flory, and Mountain Meadows, and in Camarillo, she has worked at El Rancho, El Descanso, Valley Lindo, Santa Rosa, and currently she works at La Mariposa. Talk about commitment to quality education for all. In the classroom, Mary shares her patience as she encourages students to do their best while feeling safe and good about themselves. She also shares her artistic talents as we create age-appropriate art projects and bulletin boards. As one of her previous teachers, Mimi McGilvray, shared with me, Mary has a wicked sense of humor, which is a definite plus in our line of work. Mary has the best Zumba moves during Go Noodle time, and she does not hesitate to sit on the floor with students to show them how much fun magic tracks can be. She willingly communicates with our bilingual parents and is always asking what she can do to help me. Of all the hats Mary wears, wife, mother, yes, and even grandmother and paraeducator, my favorite hat is the one where I can call her my friend. Live, laugh, and love. That's Mary. Congratulations on your 30 years with VCOE. And please don't retire before me. Okay, you're doing a good job.
Mary. You get this and this. Do you want to have a few share a few words? Oh, okay. It's up to you.
Yeah, I'll hold it for you.
I don't know what this is. I just want to say thank you to everyone that I've ever worked with. You guys have made it easy and fun, and I just love what I do. I just love it, and I love everything about it. Of course, not to mention the vacation time. But I love to see the progress in the kids. I love my staff, Dean's staff. Thank you guys so much.
Let's hear it one more time for Mary Campos, Jody Burnett, and all of our other recipients of years of service to VCOE. And now it is my pleasure to ask Michelle to come back to the podium and introduce a truly extraordinary hero and our speaker today.
So go ahead and grab the mic. I'm going to have Manny come up and help me for a second. I just want to share with you, I don't know what comes first when we're planning these events. Do we work on the event theme, or do we work on securing the guest speaker? This year, our planning committee ensured that the two tasks came together: our theme, Everyday Heroes, and our speaker, Mr. Anthony Pettiferry. Anthony Pettiferry is a local Camarillo resident who joined the California Highway Patrol as an officer in 1995. He has always been extremely active, involved in competitive sports his entire life. As an adult, bike racing was his passion, and he ascended into the highest amateur levels of cycling. During his career with the CHP, he turned to triathlons as a new challenge. And Anthony focused on Ironman triathlons, completing more than 10 races, including 3 trips to the World Championships in Hawaii. Then that brings us to December 19th, 2007. With over 12 years of experience as a CHP officer, he was struck by a vehicle while conducting a routine traffic stop. So let me paint a picture. Nearly killed. Intensive care unit. Rehabilitation, C7, C8, quadriplegic, paralyzed from the upper chest area down. May 2008, hand cycling, first time. In 2010, hand cycling, racing. 2011, member of the United States National Paralympic Cycling Team, winning races, multiple national championships. 2012, one of 4 hand cycle athletes, U.S. Paralympic Team, London. 2016, coach and lead mechanic for the U.S. Paralympic Team at the Paralympic Games in Rio. Powerful stories, as a friend reminds me, often contain powerful pictures and sounds and words. And in our effort to honor Anthony's journey, I'd like to prepare you for the video that he will be sharing with us today. So please be advised of that. But his journey would not be a complete picture without sharing the clip. And we hope that it inspires you today. So colleagues, please ready yourself for an inspiring presentation from who I consider to be a local hero, Mr. Anthony Pettiferri.
What's that? All right, well, first thing, made it up the ramp all right without falling off. That's good. I seriously was thinking that would look really bad. All this athlete stuff, and he can't even make it up the ramp. Yeah. So yes, I was an officer with the Highway Patrol for 12 years. At the time of the accident, you've been on that long. I was riding a motorcycle up and down the beach, looking good, having fun. The job was easy to me. Didn't take it home with me. No stress. It was great. Had full aspirations of retiring at, 30 years and, going on my way. Well, that didn't happen, obviously. The day of the accident, I usually worked in Camarillo for about 5 to 6 years. Same area, every day, no changes, no exceptions. Well, I decided to work somewhere different that one day. And I was working up on the Rincon, north of Ventura city limits. And apparently, I don't remember, I pulled a kid over, 21 years old, and then I had a 20-year-old kid driving a full-size Chevy pickup going 74 miles an hour is what they figured out. And he straightened the curve out in the freeway and missed my motorcycle and hit the car that I had stopped. And that car in turn hit me. And then they figured out, all right, well, he hit you guys going 74, then all 3 of you went down the freeway going 42. So imagine standing at 0 and going to 42. It's a big speed change. That's what usually kills people. And usually it's 20 to 25 miles an hour will rip your aorta off your heart and you'll bleed out. So luckily that didn't happen. So unfortunately the guy that I'd stopped was killed. He hit so hard, this is kind of gross, but they called it internally decapitated. Basically his skin was holding his head on. And then everything caught on fire. It kind of looked like a scene out of a movie, or so I was told. The driver was under the influence of marijuana. Yeah, I don't know what your feelings are on that, but that wasn't good. So they rushed me to before that, my motorcycle wasn't hit, so people arriving at the scene, they saw the motorcycle untouched, so they think, oh, the highway patrol's already here. The scene's super chaotic, nobody's really looking for me because they think I'm fine. Well, I'm over in the ditch 90 feet away from where anybody was, and it was over a berm 8 feet down, and nobody could see me. And lucky, going the other way on the freeway, there was 2 Army medics who just got back from the Middle East. And they started looking around going, where is this guy? We can't find him. So they looked for me and they found me, and thankfully they are the ones that found me because they didn't panic. They got me breathing, opened up my airway, and pretty much saved me at the scene. Took me to the hospital via helicopter, and got to the hospital, and the doctor said, I give this guy 10 minutes to live. Is his wife on the way? So you can see him still alive. And they asked, well, why does he only have 10 minutes? They said, well, his heart rate's really low, his blood pressure's all messed up. And they said, oh, no, he's an athlete. His heart rate's always low. It's normal. And he's like, oh, okay, 20 minutes. 20 minutes. And so they're like, oh, okay, oh, God, okay. So obviously I made it, but I've subsequently talked to that doctor after the fact, and it's pretty funny the laugh we have over that one. So yeah, I'm now what they call a C7, T1, C8 quadriplegic. And before I got hurt, I always thought it was neck down or waist down, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Everybody's different. When you see them in a wheelchair, their abilities are totally different, and I kind of do a good job of faking it. But I'm paralyzed from like here. So I have no stomach, no core, which makes working out at the gym pretty quick because I can work out total whole body workout in 18 minutes, So yeah. So at the time when I was hit, my back was broken, my neck was broken. I had a motorcycle helmet on at the time, but I had a skull fracture through the helmet. And I had some bleeds on the brain, and all my ribs were broken on both sides in multiple places. But they didn't hurt, couldn't feel them. And probably the weirdest injuries I had was being hit so hard it pulled some of the cranial nerves out of my brainstem, and so my eyes were crossed, which is not a good look in a wheelchair. And I couldn't talk, like this voice, they had to kind of reconstruct my vocal cords just to give it to me, because one vocal cord is paralyzed. Can't yell at my kids, but at least I have a voice, because I couldn't talk for about a year. My vagus nerve, which is part of that, doesn't work, so I don't get hungry, which makes dieting nice. Yeah, so just kind of weird injuries like that. 2 months in ICU, and then another 5 months in rehab in Colorado. So basically a school year in the hospital. And I've gone back to the hospital like for a few days. I don't know how I made it through 8 months. That's a long time to be in the hospital. I hated it after like 4 days the last time I had to go in. But one thing, when I got hurt and I told my wife, after I came to and all that stuff, I said, you know what, you can leave if you want to, because I'm sitting there looking down at this mess of wires and halos and stuff screwed into my skull, ventilator, life support, and the only thing at the time I could move was my right forearm. Everything else was dead. And so I had no idea.
Cause you're a sky full of stars. I'm gonna give you my heart. Cause you're a sky full of stars. stars. I wanna die in your arms. Oh, oh. 'Cause you get lost